Spanish poor man's potatoes, known here in Spain as patatas a lo pobre. This is one of the most classic dishes from Spain, and it truly hallmarks the simplicity of the Spanish kitchen. Bienvenidos, welcome to Spain on a Fork. You know, this potato recipe dates back to the medieval times. This was peasant food, ingredients that were grown in the land. Nothing fancy here, just potatoes, onions, and peppers. Of course, in today's society, everybody eats these potatoes, from your local tapas bar to a high-end restaurant. Now, a lot of people here in Spain like to serve these patatas a lo pobre as a tapas appetizer. I prefer to serve them as a side dish next to a couple fried eggs for the best dish ever. Either way you dice it, this promises to be one of the best potato dishes that hail from Spain. Let's begin by cutting 3 medium-sized Yukon potatoes, each one into rounds that are about 1/4 inch thick. Now, these potatoes have been washed and patted dry, and as you can see, I'm leaving the skins on them as it gives them a beautiful rustic texture and flavor, but if you prefer, you can peel the potatoes. Once all the potatoes are cut, I'm going to stack them up and cut them into 4 evenly sized quarters. And as you're cutting your potatoes, transfer them into a stock pot. Then I'm going to fill the stock pot with some cold water. You want to go to just above the potatoes. And heat it with a high heat. While the potatoes are cooking, let's get the rest of the ingredients ready. I'm going to grab 1 green bell pepper. I always like to cut off the tip and cut around it. That way there's no seeds involved. Cut each piece of the bell pepper in half and into thin strips. And do the exact same thing with 1 red bell pepper. For the next ingredient, I'm going to grab 2 small onions, or you can use 1 large onion. Like I always tell you, I like to remove between 1 to 2 of the outer layers as it gives the onion an incredible texture and it makes it so much easier to cut. And thinly slice the onions. And for the final ingredient to prepare, I'm going to grab 6 cloves of garlic and cut a slit on each one. That way when you cook them, you can easily remove the garlic from the skin. Alright, let's move back to our potatoes. It's been exactly 10 minutes since I turned on the heat, and these potatoes should be perfectly cooked. You don't want to overcook them, otherwise they're going to fall apart. You can always pierce one with a toothpick, and if it easily goes in, but with some resistance, they are ready to go. I'm going to remove the stock pot from the heat, drain the potatoes into a strainer, and rinse them under some cold running water. This is going to stop the potatoes from cooking. For the next step of the recipe, I'm going to grab a large saute pan. You want to make sure to use a deep pan here, that way all the ingredients fit in there. I'm going to heat this with a medium-high heat and add in 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. After heating the olive oil for 1 minute, I'm going to add in the sliced onion and the cloves of garlic. And start mixing them around with the extra virgin olive oil. We are on a medium-high heat here, so make sure to mix this continuously. That way nothing burns and everything cooks evenly. After about 2 minutes, and those onions are nice and translucent, I'm going to add in the strips of green bell pepper and the strips of red bell pepper. And mix all these ingredients together. That way they're all coated in that extra virgin olive oil. At this step, you don't have to mix this continuously, but do get in there once in a while. That way nothing burns and all the ingredients cook evenly. About 6 minutes after adding the bell peppers into the pan and they're nice and soft and developing a light golden color, I'm going to add in the pieces of boiled potato into the pan. And once again, give this a mix. That way all the ingredients are coated in that extra virgin olive oil. And like I told you earlier, at this point you don't have to mix this continuously, but do get in there about every 1 to 2 minutes. That way nothing burns and all the ingredients evenly cook. And the secret here is to be very gentle, that way you don't break those potatoes apart. About 12 to 13 minutes after adding the potatoes into the pan and all the ingredients are developing a light golden color, those potatoes should be perfectly cooked. At this step, I'm going to season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. We'll give it a quick mix, that way all the seasonings are evenly mixed around. Remove the pan from the heat and transfer the potatoes into a serving dish. And we'll sprinkle the dish with some freshly chopped parsley. Check it out, our Spanish poor man's potatoes are done. Patatas a lo pobre. This is such a classic Spanish dish, so simple but so good. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. I'm telling ya, this is a dish I cannot wait to try. Grab a little bit of everything. Here we go. That is so good. I'm also gonna grab one of these garlics. Look how easily they peel by cutting that slit. It's so good. Again, the most basic ingredients, folks. We're talking potatoes, onions, peppers, garlic, and a good extra virgin olive. Truly one of the best potato dishes that hail from Spain. So easy to make. You know, I've made this before here on Spain on Fork a couple years ago. This is an improved version of it. Make it at home and I guarantee you're gonna absolutely love it. And like I told you earlier, serve them as a tapas appetizer or as a main course next to a couple fried eggs for the best meal ever. Really quick before I go, a shout out to one of my patrons, Dr. Michael Barbitz. Once again, Dr. Michael, thank you for being a patron of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. For the rest of you, if you're not with me on Patreon, consider becoming one. It helps me with ingredients and equipment to continue making videos like this. You'll find my Patreon link in the description box below and iCard above. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Till the next time, hasta luego.